Alright, welcome back to Sonic Unleashed, where we are finally going to restore the final continent in the game and truly enter into the end game here.
The final Chaos Emerald. Back at last. This should put the world back to normal. Dark Gaia will go back to being sealed within the core, and my work will be done.
That's great, Chip.
Yup. Thank you, Sonic. It's all thanks to you. Yeah!
Why couldn't you fly us over to here, Tails? Why do we have to go through Eggman Land?
Sonic has restored the last of the Chaos Emeralds. Things should settle down around here before long.
That's right. Satellite footage confirms that the last piece is moving back into place.
That's wonderful. I'll await your safe return then. You can give me a full report over a plate of luscious cucumber sandwiches.
I'll be happy to fill you in, Professor.
Serves you right, Tails.
Do you feel that?
Looks like you're a bit too late, Sonic. Eggman! Thanks to my wondrous technology, Dark Gaia is whole and complete. I harnessed its energy to put together this little creation. Behold, the Ultra Hyper Prototype 1! Crush them!
Too big you can't do anything cool like that in the game.
This gorge will be your tomb!
So here we go. This is the Egg Dragoon, probably my favorite boss in the game. This is also a boss you fight in Sonic Generations, only you do it as normal Sonic, which is actually really interesting about this, is that you get to fight him in both forms, technically. I do think that the Werehog fight is actually a little bit better, although the Generations version is still pretty cool. And it looks like the Egg Dragoon will be back in Sonic Forces, so hopefully that boss will be pretty cool too. So what you want to do is you want to hit those green balls that the Dragoon has on it. That is its only real weak point. You can sometimes get preemptive hits. It looks like you're not supposed to be able to hit him sometimes, but you can. Like right now, I don't think I was really technically supposed to be doing that. In this area, you can pick up the egg fighters to throw at him. which is neat. You know, so you can actually hit him while he's far away like that. So there's a lot of really cool ways to fight this boss. I don't know how that missed, but whatever. Let's try it again. There we go. It's just a neat fight. I like the boss arena. I like that we're falling down like this. The quick time events look cool. And they're not really difficult, you know. There's one where you have to press the X button like 60 times. I don't remember which. I think it's the final boss. But that's just like, that's absurd. So yeah, overall, I like this boss. I like the theme. And I like the fact that throughout this game and Generations, you actually get to fight him in both forms. And both of them are pretty great. I'd say... I don't know. This might be my favorite 3D Eggman fight. Because Eggman has a lot of really great 3D fights, but this one might actually be the best. I'm thinking back to like the Egg Viper, because the Egg Viper is another good one. You know, minus all the memes, obviously. Get a load of this. Let's see if you can make it through here, Sonic. Oh no, I can't believe this. He's not gonna get away with this. You know, that boss has a lot of goofy lines that are just so great. This one has some repetitive lines. You know, it wouldn't be an Eggman fight without them. The one in Generations does have a repetitive line, and it's, what is it? Oh yeah, time for the change of base is his line in Generations. The only thing I can think of as his repetitive line in this boss is "You little." Other than that, they seem like they kind of were trying not to give him a repetitive line, but that's like part of the charm of Eggman. Is that he always has that one line. Shadows is probably the best. You know what they say, the more the merrier. I don't know why I said that like Hotel Mario. You know what they say, all toasters toast toast. No, Mario. All toasters toast bread. It comes out as toast. So yeah, I really enjoy this fight. It's definitely the least dumb fight in the game too, and it kind of reminds me of Metal Robotnik from the Sonic OVA, just a little bit. It's obviously, it kind of looks nothing like it, but the way it acts reminds me of it. Which is always a good thing, because I always loved the OVA. Unfortunately, the final boss really isn't as good as this boss. This is what I consider to be the real final boss of this game. Also, it's so anticlimactic when you get through this this QuickTime event and then fail like at the end. It's just like what happens is Sonic put the Eggmobile back into the Egg Dragoon. And there you go, there's the Egg Dragoon, the last really good thing in the game. From here on out, it's all downhill in terms of bosses, which is really unfortunate. There are a few cool concepts coming up, but none that I would go ahead and say that's really cool. Or the execution is worse than the concept, like a lot of things in this game. I don't know what that's for.
How could I lose? This isn't over. I'll build a prototype too and...
What? It's Dark Gaia.
Yes! Dark Gaia! Crush this insolent little hedgehog! Kick him to the
Goodbye, Werehog. You won't be missed because you were pretty miserable.
Seven lights of the earth rekindled.
What's happening? Oh, wow, that's just incredible. The temple!
Awaken and gather here to me! Sonic.
I love how much worse everything looks in-game. So here we go, we're kind of entering into the first phase of the final boss. This is Dark Gaia. We are controlling the, I think it's called the Light Gaia Colossus. This thing looks really cool, and it's one of those things that's so stupid and I love it. But the way that you use it in-game is not very fun. Because Dark Gaia is throwing these magma rocks at you, and you have to dodge them. Now, I wrote down a pattern, so I remember this because this is the worst part of the game. It's one of them anyway. If you don't have this pattern memorized, you will die over and over and over again. So, follow what I'm doing. I at least memorized it for the first two patterns, or first two phases, and then the third one I just kind of go nuts with it. When he does this, you want to block and then move to a different direction, because that does a lot of damage to you if you're not blocking. There's really no way out of getting hit by that, which is really stupid. Like, yeah, let's just give the boss an attack that you literally cannot dodge. This is a prime example of, this seems like it would have been a really cool idea, but the execution is just so poor. I would have rathered you not have to, you know, fly towards him. I would have liked to have been able to just fight him straight up. Like, instead of this happening in a QuickTime event, it would have been cool if you could actually control this and fight him. Maybe like Punch Out. But nope, any cool idea this game has, it squanders. Now, that is not all for this boss. Not only do we play as the Light Gaia Colossus, we also have to play as Sonic, who is on the the Light Gaia Colossus. Which, again, this is a cool concept. I like that we're running on the Colossus, and we have to get to certain points to attack Dark Gaia. So, again, cool concept, kind of squandered, because it just doesn't work as well as it should. The sections are very short, so there's not a whole lot of challenge until the very last one. The very last section here is super annoying. That was my fault. There's no way I can possibly blame the game on that one. That was entirely my fault. The only good thing about the final part is that there is a 1-up that respawns every single time, so there's no real challenge of you getting a game over in that part. The worst part about this part, I keep saying the word part, and now it's starting to not even sound like a word. Okay, that's pretty obnoxious. So the worst part about this section is that if you get a game over here, you have to fight the Egg Dragoon again. And while I do like the Egg Dragoon a lot, and it is you know, my favorite boss in the game and one of my favorite parts in the game in general, it's still, you know, it takes too long. You don't want to sit there for another 5 minutes or so, 4 to 5 minutes, fighting the Egg Dragoon just so you can get back to the final boss. There should have been checkpoints there, but there are not. Because there's this part, and then there's the final phase of Dark Gaia, which, again, if you die in that part, you have to go all the way back to the Egg Dragoon. They don't send you back to this part. At least I don't think they do. It every time gets reset back to the Egg Dragoon. So that is one of the least fun aspects of this entire part. And this is just kind of like, we're doing the same thing over and over and over again. Did we really need to keep flying at Dark Gaia? It's such a missed opportunity to let you just brawl with Dark Gaia one-on-one instead of it happening in a quick time event. The timing to break those is actually kind of tight. You want to start charging it up a little bit before it hits you, and then release it like a second or two before it's at you, because the Colossus moves very slowly. And once you get close enough to him, you don't really need to worry about dodging, because it'll fade out and it'll go to this part. And as soon as you're out of control of the Gaia Colossus, it refills your health. So the next part that we go to with the Gaia Colossus, your health will be filled up entirely, so you don't have to worry about that in between sections. And also, in the Sonic sections, the time is counting down. I've seen some people play this game where the time is counting up, and you have like 40 seconds to do it or something like that. And once it reaches 40, you're done. I don't know if that was like a patch that they put in, where now it goes down instead of up, or if that's a difference between the 360 and PS3 versions. So I don't really know what's up with that.
Sonic, hit Dark Gaia's weak spot, quick, while I hold him back. Chip, you rock! Hurry, Sonic! Dark Gaia's getting ready to do something!
These sections are, you know, they're alright. It's just another excuse to play as Sonic, which is never a bad thing. I think it would have been cooler if instead of using the time to go ahead and attack Dark Gaia, it would have been cool if you can go around and collect each 7 Chaos Emerald that we've placed in the temples. You know, like one last daytime level where you're going through the Gaia Colossus, collecting the Chaos Emeralds throughout, and then at the end you turn into Super Sonic. That's not really what happens here, which is kind of dumb. Like, we really did not need to do this 3 separate times. It's such horse honky. You also have to get the placement right when you're breaking through those, because sometimes you can just get hit by, like, the side of another one. And this is where I stopped caring about the pattern and just kind of went for it, which is why I'm taking way more damage here than I was in the other sections. I think what they really want you to do is take it slow instead of boost to avoid the rocks, but that just takes way too long, and I do not feel like staying here longer than I have to. So that's why I'm constantly boosting, which means, yeah, the closer you get to him, you're probably going to start hitting more rocks. And at this point, I'm just trying to tank the hits so I can get close to him. And yeah, there we go. That's what I was hoping for. This is the last, like, really bad part of the game. The second phase of the boss still isn't great, but it's, you know, it's good. This is the final, like, ugh part of the game, thankfully. And this last part with Sonic was what I was talking about before, where it can get kind of hairy. There's one section that kills me over and over and over again. It's really quite annoying. It seems like the game just got unnecessarily annoying at the very end of this section. And also, you have, like, just enough time to get there. I try not to boost in this section just so I don't hit anything, which is why I think this might look a little... Maybe I make it a little too hard on myself because I don't boost in a lot of sections here, because I don't want to hit those Gaia tentacles. But it's this part. From this part on, it gets really stupid, because you gotta just go underneath that. I don't know how I hit my head there. And these platforms are on their side, and right here, that orb hits me every single time, and it's garbage. So every single time at the same place, I get hit by that orb and I die. Hit by the orb and I die. You know, those times I just didn't have enough time. That time I was trying to boost through it, but Sonic's so slippery, he keeps going off to the edge, so there's like no good way to do this. I also don't know how to not get hit by that orb. I really don't. So finally I got lucky, made it through. And that's pretty much it. Like I said, there's an extra life there that you can use every single time you go through that area, so that you're not depleting all your lives, which is very nice. Oh, come on, we just put that back.
What's happening? It was broad daylight a minute ago.
Dark Gaia has regained its true power. The beast is complete. It's just as the Gaia manuscripts foretold, and the world shall be plunged into the dark of night, the dark of destruction. Oh, that it should come to this. We're doomed. The planet is lost.
That won't happen. There's no way Sonic will let it end like this.
Anyway, tune in next time for the finale of Sonic Unleashed.